Good evening, everyone. Evan from the Trade Risk, December 17th, with a market recap video. Let's kick it off with the SPY here, and you can see, take a look at the ranges the past few days. It has been really impressive for intraday traders. You've got everything you want in this type of market environment. Yesterday, look, we opened on the lows, rallied to the highs, and then had a nice big fade. Today came in, opened on the lows, and this time the rally stuck right through the FOMC minutes. And the market was strong going into it, and after the release, it really just picked up and confirmed that strength. So, a real impressive day. Really though, granted it was a 2% up day. Structurally, if you're looking at a daily chart, nothing really changed today. We basically closed right at the recent 3-day highs for this week. So, really nothing's changed. We're still in this pullback now. Definitely with the strength today and the way we closed, especially the participation in the market, things look promising for some potential follow through tomorrow. But until we see it, until we see us back above, clearing a resistance level or back above prior support, which should now be resistance, it's tough to get too excited today. With that said, individual issues definitely some outperforming and then some underperforming issues. We'll get into that later today. Let's look at the Qs first. Again, similar camp as the SPY, up just under 2% today, not quite at yesterday's highs, but it's basically in line. The IWM was really impressive today, though. Over a 3% move, closed dead on the highs, and look at this just absolute bust back through this breakdown. Very impressive, and again, it still just continues to be short. Especially this here. Basically spent 2 days. Yesterday, you could see the fight that the bulls gave to get back in. Granted, they closed on basically the dead lows, but what a range yesterday, and then today just completely reclaimed it back in here, and then all of a sudden, these 118.50 or so highs don't look so far away and don't look, are looking better and better for a potential breakout trade. If this was a nice false breakdown to get some short sucked in, squeeze, shake out these longs, if we did get a break above 118.50, this potentially could really go into year end. Still, we're ways away from that happening, but just something to keep on mind. Gold, some metals today, a little bit weak. We're still basically in this rising channel. Could potentially be a bear flag. Not too actionable for me there. Silver back to the lows pretty much. And this 1475 level is going to be very important over the next couple days, especially if it still continues to soften up there. Oil, so this is obviously all eyes on oil recently, and today definitely tried to get going, but it did fade. It's basically just a product of this very strong downtrend. It's going to take some time. A V-shaped rally here, those are rare and far and few between. I think when you have something as oversold as oil is right now, the V-shapes can happen, but this is definitely showing some strength. Basically tagged the 8 EMA, which is an extremely fast-moving average today, and just faded right off of it. So, I think that the bullish takeaway from this is, hey, you finally got 2 green days in a row. Let's see if we can start to go sideways, catch some stability here, and eventually let these moving averages catch up, and then work yourself out of it. But for now, it's interesting. You're starting to see some signs of slowing down on this sell train, but not too actionable just yet. Natty gas still hanging out on the lows too, carving out some type of base, basically right below the October lows. So maybe there's something that'll come out of that. Nothing too actionable for us there. TLT Treasury. Just been on a nice run. Retagged these highs here, which I don't even know if these were legit highs. They were, but I don't know. Some quick action this day. This was like a 5-10 minute trade up here, something like that, if I recall correctly. But nonetheless, it's back there. Strong trend. Things are looking good. Pullback today, of course, a little bit, but managed to close it off. Perhaps if this could go sideways, flag out, develop a little high-level base, some actionable action for me there. But Treasury is still just in a very strong bull trend. Let's get into some individual names. Apple today, nice day, basically right back to yesterday's highs. Moving averages all still curling down. These are the fast moving averages. And, this prior 108 level support looks like it's trying to hold in there. A little bit of an overshoot like we so often see. But, things look like they're starting to stabilize here in a very healthy correction. I mean, if you look at this last impulse from 95 to 120, and then we're back down to 106, just about 50% of this move has been retraced. If this does hold as a good low, I'm not saying that it will, but very, very healthy action. So look to Apple to see if it can continue to stabilize here. And I think a lot of these names are in similar boats. Google a little more damaging though. Yesterday was a hell of a day for the bears to break down some of the support here. And then take a look. If you zoom out here, now we're looking at the entire year of 2014. You can see we almost have this big topping pattern potentially at play here. Yesterday really tried to break below here. If for you longer term players, this is what you need to keep your eye on. There's this big gap that we basically finished out 2013 with, last year. All the way down to 450. So perhaps that needs to get filled. Perhaps it wants to get filled. Who knows? I mean, a pause in the action today, 1.5% up move for Google today. Still basically an inside day from yesterday's very potent down move. So see what happens. It needs to get back above this 515 level. If it just kind of bear flags up to it and then rolls over, that could be a great short setup. But keep that on watch. Google definitely some damaged goods. Netflix, not quite the camp that Google's in, because Google already snapped its year lows basically. Netflix is still holding on to them. So it's trying to rally off of the lows right now, right at these low 300 levels. So you can see, we did close strong above yesterday's highs and is back above this 330 level, which was the bottom of this gap, to have on watch. So Netflix trying to stabilize. Again, all the moving averages still in this ferocious downtrend ever since it broke below this 377 range. So, it's trying to stabilize here. 5.5% day, that's impressive. 17 points. So that's a good start. Let's see if it can continue. Not too actionable for me there. Amazon, so this one, again, trying to stabilize today. Traded below yesterday's lows, came back above, through it, closed up almost into the 300 level. So let's see there. Similar comments apply to Amazon. Tesla, a very nice engulfing day from yesterday's continuation to the downside. Back above $200. Again, doesn't change the technical picture of anything. Really needs to start getting back above, clearing a resistance level to start changing sort of the shape. Still in a downtrend, but definitely look for Tesla to try and firm up here. Facebook, just not that impressive. I was really excited about Facebook. I wrote about it in my Sunday blog post when it was basically closed up here on Friday, right into the 78.50. I thought we were gonna, I said gave it the potential scenario to get back above this $79 level, 78.50, close the gap, run for the highs into the year end. I like that scenario. Hell, it can still happen, but definitely over the past 2 days saw a little bit of a swift move down. So we'll see. Facebook just caught in this big range, so not very exciting to me there. Twitter, same thing. I mean, a mildly up day, but still pretty weak action. Definitely still in the bearish camp all around. Not too exciting for the bulls yet. I mean, the best bet for the bulls here is to hold basically the lows here back on the 9th of December, and if we can make some type of double bottom to get some constructive base to move up from. But Twitter, not too exciting there for the bulls. GoPro, this ever since breaking the 65 level, it's been tough. It's been in this drip mode lower. Basically did close underneath yesterday's highs, but up $1 on the day. It's trying to stabilize here, but still very damaged goods. Alibaba, so here is one, had this on watch, wrote about this on my Sunday recap, 107.50, that was the critical level. There was kind of a confluence of resistance right here, and we did manage to break above it today on a nice 3% gain, closed on the highs of the day. I am long some Alibaba into the close, and I'm going to see if this breakout can stick, and see if we can get some upside follow through. A tight stop here is really all I need. A back below 107.50, 107. I'm gone. Keeping things real tight, but let's see if there will be some follow through. I like it. Potential flag. Again, take a look at the big picture. A rally that started around $83, ran to, call it 120, retraced 50% of it, just about, and now we're starting to try and lift out of it. So again, technically behaving very good. Exactly what you'd want to see. So let's just see how it continues. Another name I know was talked about today, BlackBerry. Trying to keep this bigger pattern range intact. $9 to $9.20 support. It's still pretty range bound. I like to trade breakouts, so it's not too actionable for me. I'd like to see it just back above here, breaking out above 1150, but that's still a long ways away, but still some nice action for BlackBerry today. Now let's look at some names that didn't perform so well. Some of the retailers, which they ended up getting some bid into the close today, but things like Coors, and I think JCPenney was actually the stronger of them. I know TJ Maxx was weak, DSW was weak, but you can see the tails. They did kind of come in and save these guys into the close and after the minutes. So that's an interesting note. Something like Zillow, this one was weak today, kind of breaking down from this range here. Maybe it needs to retest these 105 lows. Have to keep this on watch. A little bit of a tail, but still some pretty weak action. Trulia, another one, breaking down from this range. So these guys were a little bit weak today. And some of the casinos, look at MGM. This one really just some horrible action. It looks like they just are panic getting out of this name here with the selling pressure that just really picked up here. A tail on the bottom here, but just really a product of probably have some oversold conditions, and some of the strength, 2% up day in the market today. So, MGM pretty weak. I'm not sure how the other, because LVS still the same way basically, and Win, I didn't take a look at this one, but pretty much the same way. Win closing on the highs, LVS closing on the highs as well. Speaking of eyes, here's another one, medical, Second Sight Medical Products. This one really weak. Was basing out here for the for the past 2 weeks, and it looks like it's trying to actually head lower, so it could be a good short opportunity, basically below today's lows, to have on watch. Some names that performed well, Ruby. Here's one that is in a sort of long-term base here. It's waiting for this to basically break back above $15. We got it today, perhaps a little extended now. Now that it's had a 6% move, but $15 was a nice trigger level. Look for that to continue. coupons.com. This one still pretty actionable, but you can see I like this kind of basing pattern here. Basically above today's highs could really get going, or above, if you want to give a little more safety to it, 1650, something above there, could start to really move this one in the right direction. AXTA, this one I've been talking about for a while here. Pretty good close today. It looks like it's trying to finally break some of this resistance here, this holding pattern it's been in for about 4 or 5 days. It's an all-time high close on it, so that one could continue nicely. And last one I have today is 8x8 EGHT. This one is breaking. Take a look at this range here. About 1815, I'm sorry, was the breakout level. And this one could have some nice energy behind it. I am long this one into the close as well, and I'm looking for some continuation there. So that's all I have for today. Especially with high-tech land, when we talked about Apple, Google, Facebook, Netflix, they're all in similar camps, right? They're all in pullbacks. They're all fairly damaged. Apple not as damaged as like a Netflix or even an Amazon or a Google, but they're all trying to stabilize here. Today was a good day to start that stabilization process, but remember, you're still in a downtrend, so things are a little bit scary. Same comments apply in the SPY. Still in a downtrend. Today was impressive. Let's see if tomorrow can be equally as impressive, and we'll see how it closes out. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.